Hello and welcome to Shelley's Sacred Space and our Everything Energy. Now, today we're going to talk about magic versus magic. And that's MAGIC versus MAGICK. Now, I'm only going to touch on the definition because this is a big topic that has so many subtopics in there that I could talk for hours. So instead of doing that, I'm going to focus on the definition today. And maybe we'll break it down in further episodes. All right. So let's take a look at the definition. Now, I took a general definition. I do know that the Britannia dictionary has a extensive definition that I did not use. So I'm using a very basic one. I found the most basic one I could. So our MAGIC is the art of performing illusions and tricks for entertainment. It happens with sleight of hand and impressions of changes. It does not include any special forces, but it does include special knowledge and skills. Now, MAGICK is actually a term, it's an alternate spelling to differentiate from stage magic. And it refers to occult or ceremony magic, which are the practices that attempt to control supernatural forces or the belief in mysterious or charming qualities. This term was coined by Aleister Crowley. Now, I want to just interject a little bit there because I don't like the word control. I know that there are some people that do utilize the magic for control of. I'm not one of them. So for me, I would have to make that adjustment and say that it refers to occult or ceremony magic, which are practices that attempt to influence or work with supernatural forces. Again, there's some other issues I have, but let's leave that. Now, some of the practices that are included under the MAGICK are astrology, divination, sorcery, alchemy, necromancy, which is communicating with the dead, healing, incantations, and spirit meditations. Now, here's where I have a bone to pick, I think. Oh, maybe not a bone. I shouldn't say that. But anyways, astrology and astronomy have the same basis. They're dealt with in the skies and the planets and all of that. Astrology deals with interpreting that for ourselves. Astronomy deals with the scientific part of where they go, how they move, their cycles, yada, yada. Alchemy is the one that gets me sometimes because alchemy is mixing up. Now, true alchemy is to create the mixing of two substances to create, and I believe it was gold. Okay. But alchemy is science 101. Mixing of things to determine what happens next. Like that is science. Incantations would be very similar to chants and prayers. And then spiritual meditation to me is also very similar to prayers. So as much as the magic is supposed to refer to occult, I'm so sorry for crossing this line. Religion can also look at an area of the occult. This is a whole different thing. One day we'll have to do magic versus religion, but not today. Anyways, there's just a lot of things that seem to run the same way. And we've spent so much time separating the two. And as witches and magicians and healers, we've X'd out the religious aspect. And as religious people, we've X'd out the mystical. And I'm like, but it's all connected anyhow. My definition was really hard to determine. I actually have like 3 different definitions, but they're all the same type of thing. So basically, it's the flow and merge with the energies of the world and the energies that surround you. So I believe that it is the natural state of working with the energies surrounding you and with the laws of our universe. So yeah, magic is something that we do every day, sometimes whether we know it or not. Our superstitions. I don't know if you remember this as a kid, but it used to be don't step on the cracks, you'll break your mother's back. That's a superstition. That's part of magic. That was a chant we used to do because you'd step over the steps and you would say it in your head every single time. At least I did. But I think for us to be so rigid in magic and its definition, I think that does a disservice to magic and a disservice to ourselves because we are all magical and we all have the ability to connect with supernatural forces, which I have an issue with that term too, only because I don't think it's supernatural forces. I think it's energies that surround us all the time. But we have that ability. There are some cultures that actually live from that way, and it's not coming out of the broom closet for them. It's just their way of living. And I have to say, that is something that I strive for. Living with magic is not choosing to do a spell or making time out to learn a trick or entertaining people. And I should clarify, living with magic, Magick, is a natural state, is living with the world and the energies that surround you, working with animal energy and plant energy and the universal energy and the wind and the elements and all of it. When you work with those energies, you create magic every day. So that is my definition. Very long-winded, sorry, and not very precise, but it's still mine. Thank you so much for joining me. I would love to hear your opinion on magic, anything that I missed or something that you think is very important in there. We will hopefully look at some of the practices under magic and see how they actually can be utilized in every day. Anyway, if you like this video, please hit like, share. If you haven't already and you want to know more, hit subscribe. Until the next time, bye for now.